enlightenment, peace, and prosperity. Welcome. Being an African American, I have noticed that my people gravitate towards certain ideologies and certain customs in North American culture. And I want to let everybody know, especially other races, that African Americans following this LGBTQ community don't think all of us are like that. Don't be looking at me in particular or any of my groups of people as we are all lumped grouped into one of these LGBTQ communities, because we're not. I just want to make that known. Because some of y'all out here think we soft and we forgot, what happened to our people. And that's not the case. Just because some of our people are into these things don't mean that you can look at all of us and think that we're all soft and that we won't come hard on you like that, because that's not the case either. Anyway, this is what I want to do. I'm going to talk about the LGBTQIA elemental PQRSTUV community and concerns with my community, the African American community. First off, I want to say that when we came to this country, we were in chattel slavery, in chains, enslaved cargo ships. The last thing our ancestors were thinking about is being gay, binary, or even being a gang member or shooting the other brothers and sisters in a cargo ship. These thoughts and identities came into our environments and spreaded throughout our communities. You see, our people were not homosexuals. Homosexuality landed on us during slavery, where European enslavers would rape, kill, and murder Africans on a slave plantation or among themselves just for sport. Where on these plantations, they would take young boys, men, and take them to other plantations, rape, and have group sex among themselves. They would sodomize the men in front of all the plantation, especially the women, to invoke fear and panic as a means of control in their plantations. This is your history, LGBTQ. We didn't come over here holding hands and under a rainbow flag. We didn't come over here talking about love is love. Quite the contrary. If you are African American and you are in these groups, you are living a fictional lifestyle, not conducive of your culture or your biology or your DNA. Because if it was a part of your ideology, culture, and DNA, then we would have these things on the plantations and it would have been documented throughout the centuries, which it wasn't. No, you have been programmed into the state of being which you are holding on these ideologies and beliefs to continue on to this day. You are feeding the machine every day you live these lifestyles. You are giving that lifestyle power, and you have more rights than our enslaved ancestors ever had within a couple years. They're giving you rights, they're giving you flags, they're giving you communities. They'd rather have you like that instead of giving you what they owe you, which is reparations. They will fight tooth and nail, and if you outcry against them, you probably won't have a job. You will be ostracized by the communities which hold these ideals. I have nothing against these people, but what I'm saying to my people, the African American community, is that me being African American, these ideals don't belong to me. Historically, generationally, these ideologies of being gay and binary and whatever are not conducive to my biology. They are not a part of my history. My ancestors brung home the wife or brung home the husband to the children in order for the civilization and the village to survive and thrive. My ancestors did not bring me a husband, or did not bring my sister a wife. If another village heard you doing that, they would burn down the whole village, ensuring that that madness would not spread into their own communities. I understand this is a very touchy subject for some, but I feel and I've seen and I'm hearing that it's not really being dealt with. I love my African American community. We have more corner stores than temples. We need a place so we can be spiritually in tuned within ourselves and research our melanin, research our carbon, research our history, research who we are to attain our higher self, to be who we are meant to be, conducive to this earth and this universe. We cannot fall prey to other nations' ideologies and philosophy and be mixed and mingled in with that, because we'll be lost forever. And we will uphold these lies which are not conducive to who we are truly. Only your people can teach you who you truly are. No other nation or other creed can tell you who they are, because they're not doing it today. They're not erecting temples just for African Americans to know about your hair, your skin, your melanin, your biology, your frequency. They're not doing any of this. No, they'd rather have you out here shooting each other, being gay, living these frivolous lifestyles, spending all this money, giving you an image of a high-powered rapper who wants to kill, shoot, and tote guns. Almost every verse is a curse word, void of any enlightenment whatsoever. So when the world looks at you, this is what they see. They don't see an African monk. Far from that. They don't see you trying to be spiritual, trying to be in tune with yourself, trying to be one with nature, being one with the all creator, the animals, the earth, with yourself, with your families, building communities, helping others. So when I look at our ancestors who came over here, when I look at our people today, it's like I'm seeing two civilizations, two different groups of people who are not even the same at all, period. Our language was taken away from us. Our names were taken away from us. Our identities were taken away from us. We should be trying everything, every single day, within our power to reclaim who we are, not to be molded into what we are not. The way you eat, the way you date, the way you talk, the way you think. These things have been programmed into you by a mind that is not conducive to who you are. These people would rather have you behind bars and chains and throw away the key, or they'd rather shoot to kill you rather than to teach you to be one with yourself, with the creator, with the universe, and to find your higher self. What kind of mind are we living under? The true mastery of oneself is to be caring, loving, giving, building communities that truly care for each other. Whatever you take, you give back equally. We should not beg for what is ours, what is rightfully ours. We should not fear for going to the supermarket or walking the streets. We should not shun or hide ourselves within a community because we look a certain way. We should not worship images that are not conducive to who we are. We should not live frivolous lifestyles that don't end up having us to be nowhere at all, or is far from your mind to even attain your higher self. When you go out to date somebody and you try to find a mate, most of you just look out for how much money they got, what kind of car they drive, what they look like. He has or she has a high power education. They live in this neighborhood. They got so many boats and yachts, whatever. That's what you do. It is far from your mind to even think, what are their genetic history? What's their background? Will this person teach me how to reach my higher self? Are they conducive with my biology? Can they teach me about myself? Will they pass this knowledge on to my children? Will my children's children's children pass this knowledge on because of them? Genetically and intellectually and spiritually. Some of y'all just pick these people, they just be like out of shape, fat, but they got a lot of money. They're millionaires. That's all you look at is the money, what's in their bank account. These lifestyles, because that's what it is, it's not conducive to what you are used to ancestrally. You have to study where you came from in order to know where you need to be and how you need to get there. There is no disconnect between us African Americans and the African continent. The only difference was the 400-year gap of slavery which happened to us. But we are still Africans. And for order for us to get power, Africa has to get us land back home, resources, and give us a traditional lifestyle which we are conducive with. Africans must give African men who are willing to go back home, African women, and they must give African women, African men, so we can traditionally give our DNA stock back and be reintegrated into Africa with lands, homes, and a way to live. This way we can connect here back into African American society here in America, and we can do trade with among ourselves through resources from Africa back here into America, and vice versa. We need to do these things in Africa, and we need to do these things in the Caribbean. We need here in America, for reparations, a governing body or a state that will handle all reparations for African Americans here in America. If we can't trace your ancestries back from the 15th, 16th, to 17th centuries in America as being slaves, then you don't deserve reparations. And if your mother's not African American, which is maternal line, then you cannot get reparations. Anybody and everybody cannot get reparations, claiming they're African American and they're not African American. And this is the trap that all African Americans have fallen into, going into all these ideologies and philosophies and tricks. Well, I call it a trick because it's not conducive to who we are. A trick, a trap, whatever. Our people have been programmed through this music for too long with the wrong ideology and the wrong thinking of how to govern their lives. I still, to this day, did listen to rap music back in my youth. And to this day, I still hear the program in my mind, bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks. Etc., 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 etc. I still hear that beat in my mind because there's a catchy tune to it. There's a catchy phrase to it. People are dancing to it. And I feel that we have lost the love for our women, the divinity of our women. We weren't programmed to learn that. I didn't learn it through the rap music when I was learning it in high school and grade school. I didn't hear that at all. I heard it a little bit, but most of the majority I've heard was the down-rated version of our family. And how to pop, 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 brothers getting shot and all this stuff. That's music is still in my head to this day. That is a program. That is scary. People made millions of dollars of people's lives being lost because they had listened to that tune and they had the drive to go out and commit mass genocide on their own people. A lot of people are talking about other things, but a lot of people aren't talking about real talk out here. And we have to talk real talk, because if we don't, it'll keep on driving the machine and it'll keep on destroying us and keep on giving us this false identity of who we are from what we are supposed to be. I give you enlightenment, peace, and prosperity.